Hi, my name is Eliza Swanson. This is Jesse Peterson. We're going to be analyzing and critiquing my design for visual communications. We decided to skip number 1 of the critique process because we kept laughing from the awkward sounds on the video. So we're going to start by doing step number 2, reactions. So go on and set the timer for 2 minutes.
Alright, we are setting the timer for 2 minutes.
Yes.
As we speak. Alright, here we go. So my first reactions to the piece, so it's very captivating. We got a lot of different angles going on. There's one distracting thing. The E is covering his nose, which gives him kind of a crow nose, which is a little bit awkward to look at.
So you noticed that right off?
I noticed that right off.
Okay.
I mean, at first I thought, one attractive guy, something's wrong with his nose. So I noticed that right at the get-go. But that's a minor thing.
Fix, though, so.
Easy fix there. Other than that, it is awesome how his perspective is gazing down the same angle as the Graduate Leadership Conference. So that's really awesome. Also, with the bullet points being as the same angle as the question above, come to the leadership thing, and then it has the details below, that's all in the same angle. That's appeasing to the eye.
So where do you think your eyes went first, right? When you looked at the piece, what did you look at first? What did you notice first?
Number 1 would be the guy and his face, because we're like, and then you automatically go, what is he looking at? So then you look at Graduate Leadership Conference.
Okay.
Now, if I were reading this piece, I probably wouldn't go to, do you have a competitive edge in business first? I would probably come down to this first, just because after you read,
focal points here,
and then you naturally go down from there.
Okay.
And maybe if this, I mean, the slant is good, but I think part of being at a slant also doesn't encourage you to read it for some reason. I don't know why that is, but it does just like focal point downward. But that is all that I can see.
Do you think, did your eye come down to here at all? I felt like this could have been distracting.
It did a little bit. But then you see, oh, okay, it's like the logo for the company. So
it's not doesn't draw too much attention.
I don't think so.
Awesome. So that's the 2 minutes. I did realize we didn't show you my design. This is it. Pretty fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the message for 2 minutes. So
okay,
start.
All right.
So what message do you think I'm trying to convey? Like what audience, what did you feel vibe coming from the piece?
Okay, so you are targeting college students who are getting into business management or some kind of leadership degree. So you got a guy in a suit, he's got his pen, he's thinking. So definitely targeting that. Obviously, the fact that this is graduate really big is also going to target college students as well. I think your overarching message here too is kind of like it's classy because he's in a suit. The types kind of say, okay, this is classy and professional, but being at a slant kind of gives this message of innovation. Like we're kind of on the edge, you know, we're like looking at things in a new angle. We're taking, you know, business in a different way. So I think it encourages kind of this innovation look too because of the angles and stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to like make it look semi-professional because it is a leadership graduate conference.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the target audience is like recently graduated high school kids. So I was trying to make it kind of trendy at the same time, you know. So that's why I did the angle type thing. Do you think it was helping that or hindering it, or what else do you think?
It is, as far as this is kind of a flyer that if you got at your doorstep, you might read. So you get it at the doorstep and you're like, or, you know, it's somewhere, or it's handed out in class and you'd read it. If this were on the side of a wall, all I would probably see is Graduate Leadership Conference.
And then walk past.
Yeah, I wouldn't read the rest.
So it's good to consider where it's going to be put.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, as far as distribution of the advertising, I think it just depends on where you put it. Obviously, if you're putting it, like, in a place where people are just going to walk by, not a lot of people are going to stop and be like, oh, Graduate Leadership Conference, you know, because it's not catchy enough for that. I'd say it's more informative.
Awesome. Thanks. So now, if we want to assess the design of the piece for 2 minutes. paper real quick.
All right.
So, first thing I wanted to go over is where do you think your eye flow went? So you said you started here, went here, and then worked down like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, coming back here is somewhat of an issue. Any recommendations on the overall layout, design of the piece?
I think if you were trying to get people to read it in a hallway more, this is really good. The angle on this is really good, but this is more distracting as far as getting your audience to see it right away.
Right.
And getting them to read it just because of the angle that it's at. So, like, I think if you, the super important information that you want them to read would probably be better if it were straight up and down. Because then they can see it, they're reading it, while you still have the angles on some things that give it kind of like that captivating look. The stuff that needs to be read. That's just my take on it.
Okay. I wonder how I could do that. I think, yeah, we gotta figure out if it's gonna, if by flyer you mean something you're gonna be handing out to people, or
yeah,
as like more of a poster type thing, because that'll depend on what you need people to catch their attention quickly, you know.
Yep.
Okay.
And it depends too on how big the poster is, because if the poster is really big, that's gonna create a different effect too. Or if it's just like this size on a bulletin with a bunch of other posters, and all the other posters are competing for your attention,
you gotta make sure you catch and they get the information that they need.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you, Jessie. Thank you
Absolutely.
for watching our video and participating in our critique. Once again, this is the piece, and there will be renovations made shortly. Thanks.